Hello, loves, and welcome to Coffee Talk. It's episode 1. Yay! Chin chin to that. And I'm so excited to be here with you. Okay, so I'm turning 44 in like a couple weeks, and I decided to look up what 44 means in numerology. It's a master number, which is exciting in and of itself. And it's associated with hard work and practicality and building a stable foundation for the future, which is in such alignment with where I am just currently humming energetically. But it's interesting. Bring on the hard work. This is where I'm at. Bring on the hard work. But I'm definitely in a chapter where I want that work to be something I truly desire and not just for an extra dollar on a paycheck, right? Like, yes to abundance, yes to the dollar bills, bring them on, but no to it at the cost of my well being. I've been there. I've done that. Thank you so much. We're not going to operate that way anymore. And these are like little truths now that, feel super yummy, but most definitely took me a little while to get there. But I'm super, super excited to be turning 44. The 40s have been pretty magical. I'm not sure. I hope everyone, I'm not sure if everyone out there agrees, but for me, the 40s have been really enlightening years. Yeah, I'm just super, super into the 40s. And on this cup, it says, if it's not a hell yes, it's a fuck no. And this little kind of knowledge drop, this little intuitive voice dropped in right after the new year of 2025 with this magical wisdom. And it's kind of how I'm rolling. I've made a decision to, this is how I'm rolling, right? If it's not a hell yes, it's a fuck no. Meaning, like, if it's not that full body yes, no, right? And it's just that reminder to help me live in alignment with my intuitive self, my highest self, that little voice that whispers in my opinion, that's, whether you want to call it God or source or universe, that's the stuff. And it's not always easy to do, right? Because there's just there's so much noise. There's just so much noise that we have to deal with every single day. And it's loud and it clouds that through line to our deepest knowing. I know it did for me and it still does. Like, I'm not perfect, right? But here's the thing that I know for certain. Whenever I have made a choice from my intuition, magical, yummy, feel all the feels goodness have followed, right? And whenever I've made a choice from the other voice, that egoic, fear-based voice, there tends to be more regret and shame, worry, and self-abandonment that attaches to it. And I just don't have that kind of time anymore. So I'm leaning into hell yes. And if it's not that, fuck no. And one of my greatest hell yeses was when I chose to step into Fred Astaire Dance Studio when I was around 25 years old. I used to, was driving past the studio so many times, right? That little voice was like, "You should go in." And and I used to watch ballroom competitions all the time with my mom when I was younger, and I was just in awe of these women with their makeup and their gems and their gowns and their attitude, and just like the men would lead them all around the dance floor, and I just loved it. I was like, all of this, please. So eventually one day, it took me a while to go in, but I went in one day and I had my first lesson on the spot, and I fell in love. As soon as I left, my soul was on fire. Like, it was immediate. And it was just that full body yes and just alignment. Like, I need to be here. And I had no idea, other than the fact that I just enjoyed it. I really didn't know what was going to happen. And now, really knowing what I do know about the body and just energy and nervous system, what I now know is really what dance did. And it brought me back into my body from years of disassociation and dis-ease of me trying to be perfect body through like fad dieting, disordered eating, and endless workouts, right? And what dance provided me was this space to move this frenetic energy that I felt inside in ways that I never had before. And it created this really gooey, yummy space and helped me build confidence and explore all the different sides of my personality, right? That's the best thing about dance is I could be whatever and whoever I want on that dance floor. I could be fierce and go into a tango, or I can be like romantic and just be swept away in the waltz. And that's all in us. We all have these different sides of us. It's that masculine, feminine energy that we all carry, right, in different proportions. And we should be able to express, like, that's the juice. I eventually wanted to open my own studio, and I did that, and I was able to open my own studio and, taught hundreds of kids and paid that forward, paid that passion of dance forward. And all of this came from just listening to that one little whisper, right? Just that one little whisper. And it's not easy. It hasn't been for me, and I know it gets drowned out, and I'm sure it drowns out for you. And it's that fear that comes over, right? And that fear of whether it's not finding love, or fear that I won't be loved again, or fear that I'm not enough, or fear of money or losing money, and fear of just not being liked. Fear I won't be good at it. That's a big one. And I also know that in the majority of these instances, whenever I made a decision not to do something out of those fear responses, well, in the moment it may have been relieving. In the long term, there was a lot more suffering inside. And I really believe that, courage is a muscle, right? And choice is a muscle. And we just don't learn how to train it like we get to learn how to train our legs and our glutes and other parts. We often overlook, I mean, myself included, I didn't really look at the brain and other systems in my body as something to train, right? Our nervous system being included. And this isn't on purpose. We don't know what we don't know until we know it. And one big thing that really has helped me kind of flip the script and help to train these muscles more, these curiosity muscles, these courage muscles, these choice muscles, is just getting curious about what is going on in here. Like, what is it to be human, like, and a woman? Okay. Because different from a man, very different. And because we certainly don't learn much about it in school, right? We learn how to do, we learn how to make, we learn how to become a lawyer, a doctor, a singer, whatever. But we really don't learn like how to be with ourselves, how to be within a relationship, how to communicate. We learn how to talk, but do we really learn how to communicate? Unless we seek it out, right? We have to seek, but we just, we learn how to talk, and we don't learn how to feel. I didn't learn how to release. I didn't learn any of this. And the thing is, it's like, so what's so funny is that we are born with this innate knowing on many of these things. You can see it in children, their kindness, their love, their connection to animals, and the purity and the untaintedness of all of it. It's like just there. And then what happens, right? Parenting, we got schools, society, media, trauma, all of it. And we are told what we should do. And in some instances, whoa, what's that word? And in some instances, we try to fight it, right? So as a kid, you see it, it's like, no, 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 no. But eventually many of us just kind of give in, right? And we give in and kind of go with the grain, because of we want to be safe, and we want to be seen, and we want to make our parents proud, and we want to do all the things. And we learn that, through this pleasing others and kind of falling in line gives us appreciation, and it helps us do well in school. And by the way, none of this is bad. It's not bad to do well in school. It's good. It's good to do well in school. It's good to apply yourself. It's good to strive for excellence. But my point is, are we choosing it, or is it choosing us? We unconsciously like dull out these whispers of intuition for the sake of feeling safe in our environments, for the sake of feeling seen. And I have done this. Perfectionist, overachiever, good girl, right here. And then I got into my 30s and 40s, and I was like, wait a minute, something's not feeling super great. And, I read and I talk to many other women. It's the same thing. You're all of a sudden like, wait, no, I'm seeing something. I see these patterns. This is not working for me anymore, and I want something different. So it's like, what's the answer then at that point, right? And for me, one of the biggest answers was space. In order to unravel, to let go of, release and rewrite stories that run the show back here, we need space to let it go and just be, and space to move, and space to feel. And this is the other thing too, that I've really recognized, is this is not a process with a finish line. And that's hard for us humans, because we like a beginning, a middle, and an end. But this is life. So it's this ever evolving, I look at myself as this ever evolving ecosystem. There's no beginning and there's no end. And it's just about staying curious within this ecosystem and learning more about it, and accepting who I am without judgment, but also like really recognizing where I have choice and allowing it to be really messy sometimes and just continuing to show up and be seen in it. And this is a part of it. Like starting this coffee talk, this is a part of that, to start to share more. And because I think this is really just generally how we grow and relate and get better. And here's what I definitely know: we don't need more perfect. We need more real and relatable and like heart centered, just I see you, I feel you, I love you, energy and intention in this world, right? I mean, and the journey, it lasts till the last breath. I kind of consider the start of this journey back to what I would call my truest self, my higher self, that intuitive voice when I stepped into Fred Astaire, like when I was 25. And then, therapy and hypnotherapy. And I went to a regenerative farm conference at 38 that kind of changed my life. And I sold a business and I traveled and I desire mapped through California and Oklahoma. And I recently attended two incredible workshops called the Bridge Experience and Extreme Leadership in Texas. And and each of these things like have changed my life. I have learned, I have grown, I have connected to people. And each one of these choices I made by listening to the whispers, by being scared and super uncertain why, because sometimes I'm like, why? And I did it anyway. And it was magic that followed each time. Was it hard? Yes. Did some relationships that I enter in where there was a hell yes, did they last? No. But there was some really beautiful nutrients from all of it. So if any of this kind of resonates with you, or maybe you're someone that has a hard time tuning into that voice, or maybe you're just in this place where you're really making that effort and you have that desire to tune back in, right? But fear shifts you into choosing something else. And I see you and I feel you, and I have an invitation for you, and it's called the Love Print. And you can kind of think of this as a blueprint for getting out of our heads and back into your heart. And it's a 5-week course. And I will take you step by step through some simple strategies and tools that will really help you assess where the blocks are. Because this is about you, right? You are your ultimate healer. I am my ultimate healer. So this is really about just me helping along that way to maybe just turn over some rocks that you haven't turned over yet. And just, really helping you not assess, assess where those blocks are, and how to make shifts, and really how to tune in to listen and to offer and to value and express yourself in alignment with who you desire to be most, that vibrant, vivacious, it's like, fuck yes, amazing woman. So if you want to learn more, you can head to my website, lifeincolor.online, which is linked in the show notes below. And next week, we are going to be diving even further into this intuitive knowing. So do not forget to like and subscribe and tune in. And I cannot wait to see you there. Bye.